forced to change roster and still in a grand final.
But this is where the Fakey boys get up to their fruity move.
Oh,
this is a map where Heroic love to play with the expectations and make some very, very strange late round decisions that throw most teams for a bit of a loop.
It's the biggest map in the pool, and it leads to a lot of interesting mid-rounds. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how this plays out. Now, could this be Fame on the jiggle, catching immediate flak? Gooshed down to 3 HP on the Glock, 2 USP, and oh god, Cadian's works just as well. Long range, eliminates Flit, and they're coming in. No smoke, no mirrors, brute force, straight through. Charging, wrapping around the smoke, guiding one of them. Kicker does go down, takes one with him. Gap on that smoke. Shush is vulnerable. Norbert on the site does have a kit, and they're not ready for him. Unaccounted for. Back to turn. Only the one body drop. Still 3 versus 2. Favors Heroic for this pistol, and especially now. Tessus has taken Jaime out, and it was Fame that got his head rocked, and now knocking off his stock is Tessus.
Wow, that pistol round means an awful lot. And look at the captain there of Heroic getting extremely fired up. This is twofold. We're one map down. We need to focus, but the T rounds, as we mentioned, are going to be worth their weight in gold. So the pistol with the conversion, this could be massive for Heroic to take this to a third map of play. It's very difficult in the first round of a map to be getting hyped about something, but it is really important for them to be picking up these key rounds, and they're getting outsiders into an eco in the follow-up. So that is 2 guaranteed immediately. You go into what Heroic have done well, punishing the first gun rounds, right? Playing with MAC-10s, playing in your face, snowballing the economy early. This is the key to Heroic to get themselves a decent bag of rounds in this first half of play on their map choice.
Super interesting from Cadian as well. He actually opted to invest his funds off his frag into an AK-4 Stown. Happy to take the MAC-10, put the sharpest tool on the biggest gun.
Well, we have seen him run a bit more of a classic, right? This is where Heroic slightly differ from that of outsiders, right? Jaime is more likely going to be in the backlines and all this. Cadian's happy to put himself forward and make the call from the front of the pack, right? If he goes in, he spots a couple, maybe he gets a kill or 2. He still has enough information to pull the strings and feed the information to the rest of his teammates for the finish. But it's a stack towards B here.
He's going to get a lot of information if he rounds that corner, Chad, just as you've discussed. I mean, it'd be great to get a couple on the MAC-10, but if he spots out the majority of this force, they are going to just charge that bomb.
Norbert has a flash. It may be desperate for Yabi here.
Nothing, not a wiggle, not a single move. Long range, MAC-10. Cadian thinks better of it. Fight is given off the flash. Yabi down. Good contribution from Kickit. Makes a degree of profit off the back of the flash. Same nade, different outcome. Flit flattened by 2 of them. Beautiful.
How quick did that nade feel like it appeared on the screen?
Yeah.
That just popped in his face right there.
It was like a full Pokemon POV.
That was wild. Okay, well, I know that was just a lighter investment. Sure, actually, the investment, it didn't really exist, right? It was that one flash, but it felt like that kill with the USB should have been a little bit cleaner there to punish Yabi's crawl. Now, they are getting the purchasers back in, and as mentioned, Outsiders going for the 3rd round buy. That means they will be missing the Jaime AWP. Now, Jaime, with his opening kills, he's been an absolute monster. When he gets the opening frag, they convert 75% of the rounds in the tournament thus far. So we'll keep our eyes on him.
As we should. A little aggressive stance for now. And he's actually committed to this. Not all that common on your first gun to have someone so invested and committed. If you lose party control, you are trapped. Assuming Yabi holds fast on Monster. It's a Fame Jaime double setup. Fun to say, even more fun for them to play. Norbert on the jiggle, hasn't received any info, but they're going to force that info. They'll fire off shots, so Norbert's attention's drawn, and that information is relayed.
They're going straight back towards B, so there's something that they like. Now, Tessus is lining up a front of A site lurk smoke here to deny some information, but because they're ahead of it with this stance, it doesn't mean a whole lot. They'll hear it plume, they'll go, okay, well, there's nothing here, we don't have to worry, and that might free up, well, no rotation. Actually, Cadian's walking into this in connector.
Yeah, I mean, no barrels betrayed him. Fame, oh, he's got his back turn. Cadian caught out, but Yabi did open up the B site, so Flick called upon. Oh, Plucks, Shush on the leap. Repositioning to ensure they have a crossfire.
Norbert's flanking again here.
This is brilliant out of Outsiders. They've got him locked in, and that's the finish. He sprays down one. A lot of damage onto Stown. His ears are ringing, his hands are shaking, and this round is surely the Outsiders. Stown takes him down. Bit of team damage. 3 to find, and Flit will finish. That's lovely. Well handled by the Outsiders, considering there wasn't that knee-jerk reaction you were talking about. They were late to rotate, but You couldn't tell.
But this is where the mind games of these two in-game leaders and the prep work that they've done for one another. They did that run boost out long, they saw nothing, and the immediate decision was, okay, well, we've seen enough to at least give us the informed chance to head back towards B. But that double connector setup, it obviously wasn't accounted for, right? Cadian wasn't aware of that whatsoever, so he dies in the back. They immediately can spring to action. They're quick on that, and Norbert as well. He doesn't skip a beat, immediately pushing forward and cutting off any way back.
This is an interesting one. Fame throws some CT aggression. Forward position, onto the staircase, and as with Overpass, it does tend to be quite tidal. You know, you're going to see CTs go forward, you'll see them go back.
Well, that's the makeup of this map, right? The fact that you spawn in A. Right? You get an opportunity to go forward, throw your disruptive utilities, slow down the default of the Ts, and okay, have a bit of a looky-loo. Kick it through the monster tunnel, doesn't see an awful lot.
This is that proactive defense. You know, the Death talks about it for both of these teams. The way they approach the CT side is you really do have to stop the default. Otherwise,
look at this crawl here, right? So they're not announcing their presence with the front bathroom smoke or the divider Molotov, and the information for Kick It actually has freed up Jaime on the rotation, so they will be slinking forward like a snake into these two defenders.
Perfect smoke. Look what it's going to do to them. You either go wide or you wait.
They might have to go wide here. That is actually quite a stifling smoke, so it's actually going to give Fame an opportunity to tuck in tight.
This is cheeky. Okay. I like your move, Jaime. Can Fame, flash, should be dead, does find it, Tesses. Gives them a leg up, 40 seconds, they can go anywhere they want with this. He does drop some disruptive utility. Implies his absence of knowledge as to where the body of the assault is coming from. Anyone can hit a spray here. 10 bullets left in the mag, Jaime good for the one. It's still Norbert, still hitting shots on that Galil, nearly 3. Tesses has got the better and got the third. A 2-on-2, Flit rotates, Kick It through connector. Kit on Kick It. Cadian and Tesses, I mean, he's come in hot, hasn't he? Tesses, 8 frags to the good. And he's not done yet. Might be on to Cadian as well. Tesses is going to have to be aware of that flank and the front. And he's opting for bankside. Cadian's aware that's a possibility. Kick It loud. May draw Cadian's attention, and it has. Perfect execution. Tesses, no. You cannot. Clutch up as well. 4 frags. Dancing with Kick It just in time, though. The outsiders will rise into a 2-2 scoreline.
Tesses with 4 kills. They're hitting some absolute bangers, hitting some massive shots. And Cadian, you could see they're caught off guard. So they heard that play from Kick It. He made some steps. I think Tesses communicated it. Cadian either has to take one of 2 choices there. I bait my teammate, I leave him when he's lonesome, or I need to, well, try and cover him off. And he went for the cover option here, maybe a little bit more selfish in nature, and they could have converted this round, but a great attempt from Tesses as we do get this back in the highlights.
I don't have a name for it, but there is this kind of common situation. Great shot, right? But there is this situation in Counter-Strike where by giving information, by relaying information, your players will react to it. And it's always at that point, sometimes really good players can exploit that. You know, they know the teammate's going to be communicating, relaying the new position, and it can draw attention. It can be another metric by which you can find success.
Well, another conversation that we've been having throughout is Dustin taking these early timeouts. So now we're going to round number 5. He did it on round number 3 in the previous map, and I remember when we were casting some of their other games, they took these early timeouts as well. So again, setting the agenda in the early stages. Heroic already have the 2 rounds. It was celebrated the pistol with the conversion, but this is where the hard work starts. And they're actually opting to force buy-in. They're not allowing outsiders to get too far ahead in the economy game. So again, same as Mirage, Heroic have to find a couple of kills and potentially a plant here to make this worthwhile. Yeah,
you can understand why they don't want outsiders having a big pillow of cash to sleep their head upon.
Or the scout to long here, potentially.
Yeah, Jaime should have him. And does onto Tesses. Fullback, AWPing a chance. Does go by the wayside for Cadian, and Jaime thinks better of a second.
What was that stat line I brought before? Opening kills, I think 75% of the rounds converted when Jaime does find them.
And he's one of the front runners for openings in general on this for the boys.
Yeah, there's 4 massive contributors here. Well, there's another one. Fame's been fantastic in this department as well. Having so many individuals who are happy to stand and fight, hold their ground. You don't just need one individual to send out as the tip of the spear. You've got multiple spears to work with.
Oh, Gabby, no way he's ready for that one. Fame, a forward position. It's just a lovely balance. Outsiders, they're dancing this dance of aggression and passive.
Hello.
That's the aggression we're talking about. He makes it hurt. Cadian really in trouble with 10 HP. All of his teammates gone, and he's got 40 seconds as Jaime's coming for you. A missed shot, a nice frag. Does actually force the AWP out of his hands. Likely to be retrieved.
Trying to throw it away, maybe?
Trying to throw it away, yeah. Kick It. Keeps it in play. will be retrieved. All good in the James hood, and we are keeping track. As Heroic will be forced into a taste of humility.
Yeah, this is going to suck now because, as I mentioned, it had to be somewhat costly, and it wasn't. And when we look at the scoreboard, this is where the issues are starting to crop up in. There's the James opener. Seems extremely easy. No rumbers, no flash, nothing to force him off the line. He just continues to pluck them apart here. But you take a look, you've got 1 kill apiece for Stown, Yabi, and Shush. I know that Stown took Tassus out, so I guess that's 2, right? If we're talking about kills overall, that's 3. But as far as positive frags go, he only has 2 to his name, and we know that he needs to be a factor. But this T-half, as long as they get themselves the bar of about 4 or 5, it should be enough based off of the information we have of the head-to-head last time round.
The CT side was amazing.
Precisely, to make this a very competitive matchup and potentially take us to that 3rd. Whereas outsiders know, we need to put up the wall, and now. We do not have a moment where we can let this slip too far. I'm sure they think they can come back regardless of the situation here.
Yeah, which is why that pistol was so celebrated for Heroic. I mean, credit to outsiders for so quickly dampening the mood for the red and white.
There's 1 flash here, so there's a chance to explode onto B.
Yeah, it's Norbert, Kicker, all in position. Flit's the one, though, the draw blood. Stown's gone, trying to run him down. Good on the Glock. Shush, 1. Very light on options now, and especially with a shot like that, Flit massacres them, a full ace. As Heroic just head in hands, charging into that site. Flit's site, though, makes it clear, using it their own weapon against them with the AK-47. Quick work.
Yeah, they feasted a couple of times, haven't they, across these 2 maps against the lighter buys? I think it's Fame and Flit who are definitely putting those in their back pocket, and why the hell not? These are, once again, some of the easier rounds, but they're still kills. They're on the scoreboard. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, a collateral. He kills Yabi through Cadian's skull. Artistic.
First time out for Heroic here, and that's knowing they're going into this gun round. So Cadian has that AWP, and throughout some of these matches, especially that Furia match yesterday on Ancient, we highlighted him buying in with that AWP, the pistols around it, the impact he found. It feels like he's going to have these show-up moments, and fortunately for Heroic, he has been here present in some of his absolute best career form, and this is a guy who's been playing at the majors since 2013.
Yeah, an incredible story, Cadian. First grand final for him. And having a go at the counter wallbang. Shush swings through. Fame, very good. Shush is just better. Tap back from Norbert, but needs a mag, and everyone lives. This is an opening kill for Heroic. Now, this is where they have to press that advantage, build upon it. Yabi doing some housekeeping, making sure no short info can be found. Now, obviously, boosts are available, but not currently occupied. Norbert jumps in. Oh, wow. My God!
Wow.
Stown is straight inhuman. Who hits that?
All right, well, unless Flit gets a couple here, this could be the 3rd for Heroic now. The pressure is starting to come in his direction. Yabi, Tassus, Cadian, all bearing down right now.
Well, he's in the zone for sure. Flit too. He farmed up some ecos, but frags here would be a whole lot more valuable. What have you got for us? Brilliant opener. Takes down Tessus. Keeping outsiders in it. Keeping Yabi out of it. Does maneuver back. That's too Heroic.
He forced them away.
He's forced them off the site. This one-man defense.
James and Kicker are still here. Both of them.
And in perfect posture for this defense. Nade. Warning signs of what's to come. Heroic with a man advantage, but how long will that last? A miss out of James. Uncharacteristic kick it to be cleared. A perfect flash. It's Cadian that sets him up. Does that mark the round?
Looks like it.
And something I haven't brought up, but the perfect example with Cadian's flash assist there is that Cadian and James have 2 of the highest flash assists in the tournament, and you're going to see a lot of that, both sides swapping. These AWPing in-game leaders setting up those breakpoints.
Well, right here, we need to really focus in on the next element of this matchup, right? We've spoken about the saves, we've spoken about the CT side of how it's going to be a little bit different. When you're outsiders and you lose the site, you need to hold on to these goodies, and they're locked in. The hunt is coming, the fight is there. Shush has spotted James out now. They want to remove this AWP from play, and James, he's not going down without a fight.
Gotta love that. Holds it on. A heroic round 3 for that T tally. This. Whew.
Bit too much hang time right there, Mr. Norberto.
Yeah, didn't quite calculate his trajectory. Bang on the money. Shush as well. That was a perfect setup. You saw how from Kickett's perspective, his counterplay was null.
Stoun's was flashy, Shush's frags were more impactful.
Yeah,
he gets the opener, and he's able to take out Kickett to clear out the side and basically secure the round. So Stoun, you can have the style points, but Shush, you can have the round attested to you there. Fantastic work as, well, another timeout now, and this is Heroic again. So maybe they understand that the break point is available here because Jaime and Flit, surviving, have dropped some rifles across. It meant that they have another strong buy. Remember this CT wall. This is the most CT-sided map in the event thus far. So you're wanting to grab yourself, I would say, at least double digits, and if not, surely 9.
Right.
Anything's possible, especially in the context of a pressure matchup like this. We saw Heroic lose a 15-5 lead yesterday to go into overtime. Sure, then they converted, but we've already seen them have troubles in those type of situations. So all of this has to be kept in the back of the mind.
As do all of these lineups for your smokes across the 7 maps in the pool. Heroic geeks with it in the very best possible way.
They're just avoiding Jaime. They're not going towards A at all. They're not even doing like any standard A default pressure. No smoke front bathrooms.
I love this.
The lurk smoke here. So Stoun looking to clown.
He's very cheeky. Like Kickett's a bit passive. He hasn't been having the best grand final. Fires off shots, so they knew there was one a little ahead of the pack, but is that deception? You're coming towards James' domain, and he catches him out. Shush puts the leader on his arse. Clears the toilets. That's a big frag, a big scalp. Yabi the one to charge in. Gets info. Does catch lead. Shush nearly dead. Careful, Norbert's coming. As outsiders have taken the site. Back and forth, the pendulum swings now, considering B, but it's getting awkward. Very awkward. They've got one smoke, Chad. What do you possibly build into the site that already outsiders have bolstered and fortified? Smoke heaven. Flit's already on his pillar. Kicker, good for the frag. Stoun will trade. Still a chance for these two Danes. Not anymore, because Flit's got another Cadian on the floor. Rotate through. Stoun, definitely robotic. He can tap some heads, but he's lost a lot of life, and Fame crawling through. Plays it to perfection. Outsiders 5, handling it there, and Heroic, despite that kill onto Jaime, you'd think that would lead it to something.
Oh, precisely. I thought that was it. I thought the fact that Shush gets that kill is Shush again with an opener, and they just run in towards the site there, but the response time to lock it out was stuff from outsiders. And necessary shots being hit here, and this is Cadian getting ahead of himself. He thought that he had fooled the rotation. He thought that maybe there was a whole lot more bodies over towards that A side than there actually was. Now, it's not a quick rotation back by any means, especially if you're coming in through Monster, and Flit just dancing around buying the time eventually does fall. But still, Fame, he's looking good.
But use that death of Cadian as an example of why it's so exciting when players take space, you know, successfully. They make an assumption, a calculated estimate that this is going to be their best bet. This time didn't pay off for Cadian, but when it does, remember that. Remember when you do see misjudgment. At the highest level, we're in the grand final of a major. Still, players not quite getting their visualization right.
And again here, a purchase out of Heroic. So they've got 3 AKs, they've got a Tech 9, they've got a Mac 10. Now I want to say this might hint at something a little bit faster here. We saw Stoun get a lot of room over towards that monster position with the lurk smoke. And they're not looking to do that again, so they could just operate this like a gun round, like take this standard map control. Okay, well that feint with the extinguish shows that there might be some A presence, but they're setting up towards the backyard of B, and it looks like outsiders want to get a bit pushy. Flit's actually pushed past the sandbag angle now and continues to search for information.
I like this. He can even just tuck in.
But this is not the right call. They've actually cheated a third man back over towards A here, so Kicker and Flit have to deliver, or they may lose the site easily.
Okay, Kicker, what's he got for us? He's safe from the flash and a panic smoke to at least divide.
Trading territory.
And he conquer. Good flash again. Forces him into the pit. Flit, good frag back. Good on Javi. Just the Tech 9, all he needs. But Flit's such a problem. He is doing so much work for the outsiders. Nearly takes down as well. A tap to the side of the skull as James gone. And this round is up for debate. Cadian onto Norbert. One-on-one and Fame. Keeps outsiders in it. What was that?
Wow, so much trading there, and the bomb didn't go down at all. That actually really stings for Heroic. It looked great. They isolated the site that wasn't fortified. You can't be strong everywhere, and B, that was the right call. They get in, they get past, they get the kills, but they do not get that bomb down. And Heroic, you understand his point. They want to keep the pressure on because right now outsiders aren't building that economy, but this is how Fame just closes out, and it's easy. It's easier for him to close that out because the kills happen so fast. There's no mind games. You're letting this 19-year-old just play aim map, and that's where he's going to thrive.
Flit, though, coming into his own. He wants that grand final trophy.
They're really wrestling for this control, Alex. The fact that both teams are in this awkward situation, the heroic buy with this AK. Again, they need to find something, but there's a James opener again into the AWP. They just waltz.
Yeah, that was a bit of a blare for Shush. Going to be feeling the ramifications of that as his team just kind of limps around the rest of this round.
This is the exact same amount of rounds they needed to close last time they played. But remember, they had that massive 13-2 haul on the CT side. I'm not sure 3 is going to be enough here for Heroic. There's a lot more rounds to work with still in this first half of play. But if Outsiders they basically have their hand on their head. You're swinging if you're Heroic, but you're not landing.
Straight up Looney Tunes. I mean, it's down with this AK investment. You got to keep your eyes on that. You can see that it's not all sunshine and rainbows in the Outsiders accountancy firm, but he has to do something with it. He has to be forcing rebuys, needs to get new rifles, Kevlar. He has to at least go down with a fight. Oh dear! Stown loses it all to Fame. Tessus will scavenge, but he's going to be hard-pressed to find anything. Outsiders already wrapping into this defense. They're everywhere. 4 on the site. Good luck, have fun. Heroic are going to be leaving this round with nothing to celebrate. A 7th for Outsiders looms. And kick at the 1 to try and seal their fate. A quick burst into Cadian's center of mass. And Tessus next on the chopping list. Oh, he's a-coming. 1 back from Yabi, but Kickett's a hunting.
This
firing
is a terrible idea from
Tessus. He's in so much trouble. Goes long range, easy frag, and an upgrade for good measure.
I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there for a moment, because if he went down after time, right, they have max loss bonus, so he would have had enough money to buy an AK. Everything he had is there again. But if he went down after time, he wouldn't have. So that looked a little bit awkward for a second there.
Yeah, I think that's what Kickett's saying as well. I don't think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that looked a little bit funky, but sure, maybe there's something we didn't account for there. But Heroic now get back in with the buy. That loss bonus really working in their favor. It's going to look more traditional now with the map default, the map control. On a map like Overpass, you'd go 3 towards A, 1 connector, 1 babysitting the backyard of B. You want to get this party control, you want to at least posture along to see what's home. You need that information to try and piece this puzzle together. And James has actually started over towards B in a very forward position. So continuing to look for these opening kills is James. He's already been able to get 2 to his name. He's only gone down in 1 of these exchanges.
They're death rolling, just a full 5-man pack. Now, in the current state of play, you can see they've got nothing to report on B, and so James going to maneuver over to join the double F.
He's been out-positioned, I would say, in a lot of these. And when I say he, I mean Cadian. Heroic have been going into the stacks what feels like a pretty commonplace.
Oh, Flit, he's the first to attend to it. Very, very
Everyone's here, Alex.
Molotov. And yeah,
everybody, all 10
versus 5 deathmatch. Tessus to try and break the silence and breaks the neck of Norbert. Need more. Fame still on long. Molly won't last forever. Big fights to be had. It's a massacre. Heroic running out of options. It's Flit again with the double. And it's Fame for the finish. The flourish. 1 back from Yavi, but it is one-way traffic. Fame and Flit all 5.
Have the number here in a big way. In a big way. The fact that they can have 5 players on the site. Traditionally in that situation, you go in, you trade out 1 or 2 kills, you get the bomb down, and then you play the post plant. Well, again, they don't get the bomb down. The post plant doesn't exist. Outsiders will not allow it. And again, it's the information. You don't need the opening kill if you're James. You're sitting there, you can see straight through that tunnel. No guns on the left, no one's on the right, no one showing anything whatsoever, and then you make the, well, educated gamble to stack this site and completely remove Heroic from yet another round of opportunity and back down to Squalor with these pistols. No longer it's about holding on and trying to keep it close as far as the economy fight goes. Outsiders are starting to spread their wings.
And spread their deegs will Heroic. Rather standard. Park Yabi towards Monster. Catch any CT pushes for aggression, a re-smoke. Yabi expecting nothing in the next 20. But as you discussed, 3 is insufficient. And Fame looks to keep it that way. Finds Shush in the toilets. No trade available, no potential for it. And Kickert will win his duel on Yabi as well. Just these isolated, independent duels.
Well, this is traditionally one of the least inspired ways that you can do a light buy scenario. Buy 5 Deagles and hope that your aim prevails, right? That's where you're hoping that your individual brilliance is able to find a head, find the timing, find that kill to enable the round. And look, it's maybe not very tactically diverse, but you have a lot of skilled individuals on both sides of the server here. So it's worth an option. It's worth a shot. But none of them are landing so far, and Tessus will be the next to fall. It's just Cadian, last man standing. They know exactly where he is. And again, all 5 players have responded to this. Everybody here for Outsiders, and Cadian has to go down as he will take down Flit. That's a consolation frag, as 9 now secured for Outsiders.
Whoa.
This is getting away from Heroic.
I mean, seriously, just looking at Flit and Fame, combined with 30 frags.
It's not only that, the multi-kills for these guys is what's out of control, right? They're both 5 for Fame, 4 for Flit.
Oh, yeah.
So every time that somebody's on their crosshair, they're killing 2, right? They're able to remove multiple bodies from the server round after round, and that right there is a huge difference maker as Heroic go into what is their 3rd tactical timeout. They've burnt through 3 in this first half of play, 1 remaining, and I don't think they'll take it in this half. It's likely going to be saved for the second. But if they only have 3 rounds to work with, that margin for error, it doesn't exist. And especially so if they lose the CT pistol when we swap halves. They are in the pressure cooker right now.
Yeah, this is actually running away from you. Individually, 30 frags between Flit and Fame, 32 amongst all 5 of Heroic. Sure, you're on the T side, but now or never. Grand final, you're in the pits. Already Outsiders have a map on you. You've got to post a T round. 3 feels like it's going to be a very uphill struggle once they do swap sides. Outsiders will have a few tricks in the book in order to find the necessary T rounds when we do swap sides. Swapping nades, Tessus and Cadian trying to manifest a 4th. And so far, the Outsiders have just had their number, a full read of the approach. They did their homework. We heard from Heku's interview that felt like they didn't have time to prepare, so just went for the maps that both teams knew. Coming for you, Tessus, using the party access point straight down into the underpass. Flit a well-timed spray, but nothing to report. Concerned. Shush does catch a little bit of chip damage.
Mate, if Fame and Flit keep this up, these two are running for MVP against one another on the same team right now. This is a real conversation to be had, especially for Fame. First major, first grand final, and maybe first major trophy in that cabinet.
Mate, major MVP on your first major would be quite a storyline, and certainly establish a very juicy character in our world of Counter-Strike. This anime we keep living on in real life.
Again, the stacks here. Outsiders, 4 players on B and aggression in the monster tunnel.
Can we talk about Kickert? He's got Flip behind him, the nose flash ahead. Jame already makes down dead. Yabi puts his name in the feed. They need more. Bloodshed. Tessus puts 2 on the floor. It's not a guarantee when Norbert rains down terror from above. 9 seconds. Cadian will try his luck at a plant. Fame from short side. He's safe from it. Can he come up clutch when he needs to? The answer, a resounding no. It's Norbert. 3 beautiful frags. And especially with all of that effort coming out of the monster pipe, Tessus, Yabi, they gave it a good shot. But Outsiders up to 10.
That's favorable trading until Norbert happens.
Yeah.
This is the supportive element, right? We're talking about these individuals in the team, Fame, Flit, who'll kick it with the experience. Jame on the AWP. Well, there's the opener. Another one. Keep adding that to the stat line when Jame gets the opener and the conversion. But Norbert happens. That is massive from heaven. And at that point, what are you meant to do? You think you're dealing with so many bodies, but I said it. Once you're getting through, you think you get some respite. You're getting none. Outsiders, everybody always there to address the problem.
Just a fewer mistakes. These boys are just playing a perfect game. 12 would be great. Flit an opening. Shush already down on the wall bang. He's been trying his luck this time. Successful. Oh, Tessus doesn't convert. Fame being locked in from both sides. Tessus on party. Cadian with the bomb, times it well to at least level the odds. Ties us up in a 4-on-4. Yabi, a different approach this time. Prioritizing monster. Oh my God, Flit, you can't be getting 2 of those. Yabi, what a gap, what a gap! Incredible presence of mind from Yabi to enter the site just as he knows the wallbang's being taken. If he could only get Flit, we'd have a sight, we'd have a round, tapping away, dancing with him. Light on bullets. Flit chips further away at him. He's very resilient on this site. And Heroic are going elsewhere. Oh my lord, James going to have a freebie onto Tessus. And the rest just falling into place for this defense. Look at their health. 40 HP between the two. Nade, careful.
Oh.
It's down, evades it, down on 8 HP. James can catch Cadian right here. Oh, a bad spray. Another round. Cadian lets it go.
Look at the aim from both of these teams right now. Yabi whiffing some shots after that initial kill onto Kicker. You can see how many opportunities he had to take Flit out of the picture. And then again from Cadian, the pressure, it is building right now. Hey, hold on, it's not building, it is here. This is Heroic's opportunity. They made it to the quarterfinal of the major, the semifinal of the major. This is their first grand final, and they're the ones under pressure now. Outsiders playing without an issue.
It takes pressure to form a diamond, and Flit and Fame shining bright on the grand final stage. James eats the flash, backs away. These boys are not feeling an ounce of the pressure Heroic try and throw their way. One gun round, all they have to boast. And the head-to-head, Fame. Oh, he wants to knock your head. Careful, one tap. Thinks it's enough. Concedes long control.
They really are playing like there's nothing different, right? Every decision they're making, they're very procedural about it. Crosshair placement perfect. The aim's been there. Outsiders are not phased by this environment whatsoever.
This has to work. It's down, crawls through the smoke. Norbert attends to it exactly as he needs to. Not a single point of damage inflicted to this defense.
And there's 4 on A again. They're just ahead of the play every single time. James is living in Cadian's head rent-free.
Oh, and just a perfect frag. Yabi betrayed by the legs under the smoke. This is falling so perfectly into place.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts right now. Every single one of these rounds. Heroic, it seemed close. The score was 6-3. The game still seemed close. But now, it feels grim.
So aware. Any trick, they're aware. It needs individual brilliance. It needs one of these two to step up. Otherwise, it's going to read 12, and it's the same Groundhog Day on Overpass. Yep, Norbert on it. Shush, 1, half health. Problems on the swing. James will secure it. Iconic third map, but I'm not so sure we see it.
Yeah, well, you could see what the T-side pistol round meant to that brotherhood, but there was few and far between from there on out. They need to come out swinging and show anything you can do, I can do better. We know that they've had a great CT half in a head-to-head previously, but the 1x bet odds are blown out insane. When they matched up in this tournament on this very map, Heroic started CT side 13-2. So they already have proven to themselves that they can do it. But you need to do it again on the major grand final stage. This one tastes a little bit different.
And so much scrutiny on your individual decision making. On both sides of the server, the call, your reaction to it, your approach, all defining just how much success you find. Now, Shush goes looking briefly down that monster pipe, and they may be over-rotating. Is this what they're accounting for?
They started to drop back with multiple bodies, but they will stay proactive. They will search for information towards A. Cadian understands that, hey, just because B seems clear, it doesn't mean that's the case. But all the pressure on Tessus towards Sandbag and Shush towards ABC.
It's like they're beating Heroic at their own game. They know they'll rotate if there's nothing. Cut the noise, charging in, no resistance. Tessus sandbags. James opens the door, and it's Yabi. Good onto Fame. Takes down a heavy head. Big one out of Tessus. Caught on the reload, deleted by Flit. Back into the site, looking to recover. Outsiders looking to throw a heavy blow to Heroic with that bomb plant. Shush good on it, now swings through. Flit is out as well, only Norbert and gone. Heroic recover. It must win pistol under the belt. Step 1 on this very precarious ladder climb back into the game.
Well, we said that in the first half as well, right? We said that the type of round was worth its weight in gold. People like to frame the pistol round as a coin toss, right? Very 50-50 environment where anything could possibly happen. So by Heroic being able to pick up both here, now they need to get into these gun rounds. And this is where, right, it is going to get a little bit more difficult by the virtue that Outsiders have such a long runway. As soon as they lose bodies, they can save. They can save, and continue to go with that. So every single round, they have something to be a threat. And speaking of saves, we're not going to see one here.
Wow.
Into round number 17. They're going to give James an AK. Everybody else is going to lightly invest. So James looking to open up the account with Cadian on the other side of things right now.
I mean, he could break him. Smart man up against the most flamboyant and energetic, effervescent Counter-Strike leader we've seen in Cadian. There's a lot of similarities between the two. There's also a lot of differences. Heart on the sleeve of one. Heart buried in a box under the sea, I believe, for Jane. We may see it, though, if he does find the remaining 4 rounds. And he becomes a major champion, inscribed in the game for eternity. Norbert, careful. That's Cadian. Given a warning shot. Bodyguard Tessus tends to business. Jame that AK. In play. And he's wandered up long. We'll investigate the toilets as well. Tessus forward position. At the same time all this is happening, Shush has just cleared out Monster, so the relay of information should have the Feckles up here for Cadian. He's actually going looking. And James not available. Crosshair just a bit shy for him, even though he had the surprise. Shush wins out on that MP9.
Good damage here, but nothing lethal. Split will find one. Tessus to pick up that M4. Stown trying to run on in and grab something as well here. So yeah, they'll get 3 rifles through to the next. Shush will keep the MP9. Cadian can operate with one of those as well. But remember, that was just one AK that was dropped from Fame to Jane. And you can still buy again if you're outsiders. So they kept it as threatening as they possibly could without over-investing here. Fame will operate with merely a Tech 9. But these are the type of rounds where outsiders are always playing. Right? This is pretty comfortable territory for them. This isn't outside the box. I don't feel that they need the full gun rounds in the same framing. But only time will tell if that's the case. The deep incendiary extinguished. You have to know that something's coming. Tessus forward on long has Cadian to assist. So right now the biggest gap available is connector to the front bathrooms. Now, usually on Overpass, there's a bit of timer on that. You know that the Ts have to clear out their corners, throw their standard map control utility, and then you'll acknowledge it once that clock hits the magic moment for you and your theory.
Will they in any way check long? Now, they've considered it, sure, but they do seem to be setting their sights on this gap. The gaping chasm that is just about being closed by Cadian Zorp. He's drawn a line in the sand. Safe passage, Banana. But into the AWP, Fame meets his fate at the hands of Cadian. Repositioning, still available. Norbert forward. Jame trying to maneuver. Norbert shows face, forces utility. Tessus still maintains long, so he'll have info. He can sweep through toilets if they try and fake him out. This cat and mouse game.
One way here.
Yeah, the smoke gap. He's not going to be ready for this. Elevated angle. Oh, and a good one from Norbert. Levels us into a 4-on-4. Jay making decisions. Tessus still around from behind. Could do damage. 35. They do have to get a wiggle on. Last smoke. Flash. A Molotov. Jane will be throwing it, trying to get Norbert into the site. Tessus a late component. We'll keep our eye on that. Cadian first to be called upon. And he misses his shot. Smoked off. Has to respect it. Tessus versus Jame. A battle of wits now. As that bomb goes down. It's not clearing it. Neither of them. No, but from behind, he's let his shot go. Only the one from Tessus. 3-on-3, hard to break through. Maybe a bouncy SMG. Yeah, exactly. Oh! Shush! Breaks into the site. A little bit of hope, and it's smashed by Flit. Yabi trying to hold his nerve. There is time, but a 10-second defuse. The kit's forward of it, does retrieve it. Jame, wise, will jump for the info, gets it safely now as he looks, and Yabi tries to play the game. Jame confirms, fakes it out, and takes the round. Outsiders are up to 13 at the hands of Jame in Rio.
I want to see that one again. Like the details in a round like that. Tessus getting circumvented there, but it's Flit with this double here on the Shush and Cadian. Shush buys in the space with the SMG, but you see his body go flying as Flit flings them away, and Jame, just the poise, understanding the time is his best friend.
Oh, so beautifully played. You just can't do anything. Yabi, outplayed.
Look at how cool, calm, and collected he is. 3 rounds is all they require right now. That is a huge one to win. And I know it's going to be a long time before we're able to see them post it consecutively. But if they win this next round, maybe that conversation changes completely. Right? This is where we're at right now. Heroic, right? We already spoke backs against the wall. They're going to invest everything they can and more here. If they lose this round, it is essentially the game. Essentially the game is on the line right here. If outsiders post a consecutive T round right now, there is nothing for the Danes to work with. Their major trophy hopes and dreams are going down the drain.
And Jame, with a stacked playbook, has made the call. He knows how much this round could mean and how close to the trophy it would put them. He puts himself in harm's way. Forward position on Fountain. Cadian with an aggressive defense. 2 burrowed into the underpass. Stown and Yabi reactive on B. Shush the anchor. And it is Jane that goes looking. He will investigate the state of play. Kickit doing the same. Here they come. Flash is good. Frag so good. Need Yabi for more. Already on the floor. Stown one back. Trying to hold on.
Bombs dropping back. There's so much time for this. James just sprung into action.
Oh,
He's taken all this space. Everybody from Heroic responded to this. Norbert's out. He is in the clear. Fame just has to hold them here.
Playing with his food. Fame catches him on the mantle. Heroic's hopes and dreams falling by the wayside. Cadian next victim. Fame 17-3 in the round. Stone dead. Oh dear. Outsiders are inside their heads.
Every single call that's been made throughout this map has just been brilliant from Outsiders. Constantly outstacking on the CT side, outcalling them, playing Heroic at their own game in some of these tricky situations. And the trading, it's there. Sure, it's definitely there, but it doesn't count for anything if they've got the rotation points cut off. James literally entrenched deep in towards CT spawn. The knife in hand. Stown had absolutely no idea that was even a possibility. And an eco. 15 is guaranteed for Outsiders.
On the final stage with your opponent on 14. Heroic, cowardly, nothing they can do. They just got to sit back and take it with eco, USP to defend your honor. Outsiders, just the Terminator, inhuman at times. It's just so rigid, well thought out, calculated. And it's really rustled the jimmies of Heroic. And look how diligent they're being. This is an eco. I say that with a single deagle in play.
This is exactly what you do on the T side, especially when you know you have them absolutely broken, scrambling, trying to claw on. Grab them out of the depths right here. There's no right option. Just sit back, wait for the push, and absolutely murder them. Fame with 2 more.
He is making a name for himself, Fame and Flit. Quite the duo. A duo I believe we might be talking about for some time to come. And could very shortly be major champions, Fame and Flit.
Yeah, a bit of an FU right now to Heroic here. On the double deeks down.
Yeah, he'd need a lot more of that. And James, the contingency. Poor old Shush, a USP. And they know where you are. 15 is coming by virtue of the nade. It's James. Bowls him out. And still so close and yet stone-faced. They will not celebrate until that trophy is in their grasp.
This is it right here, right now. Heroic, we mentioned the 3 timeouts burnt within the first half. Exist has an opportunity to get on the mic. Take these 30 seconds, take the breather. Understand you need 10 consecutive rounds just to go to overtime. But this brotherhood of Heroic, they have battled through with the us versus the world mentality time and time again. In the public eye, this team, they have been ripped to shreds and they have done their best to try and flourish as a unit. And right here, right now, their 3rd consecutive major. Quarterfinal, semi-final, now the grand final. And it looks like they might fall at that final hurdle once more.
They've had some high highs, some low lows, but 15-5, oh no, 10 championship points for Outsiders. Is this really the final round of Rio? To crown new major champions. Nade onto the nose, James. Operating at half. Chip damage.
That's not the way you want to start the round.
Yeah, straight onto Yami. He wasn't even trying to give him the fight. Well-placed Molotov. Kickit's definitely done his homework. Posturing to try and break through. Jane with a sight smoke. Shush to establish that elevated angle on Jail. But Kickit's just trying to walk through. He's caught them out. 1 down. Jabi needs to hold on for his life, for his major life. But down goes Cadian as well. It's Flit. Takes another giant leap towards that trophy. Yabi and Stown quaking in their boots. He needs these. He needs a double. They're too good. They're way too good. Heroic. Shattered. Nothing to say on this second map of play. And Tessa's tasked with an impossible one. Outsiders have been perfect. And in Rio de Janeiro, Intel Extreme Masters 2022, he tries his luck. With every passing second of that bomb, the outsiders prepare to start the celebration.